So this is the COSO framework, the Committee on Sponsoring Organizations. That's what COSO means. It has a framework on enterprise risk management, in which IMA is also one of the signatories in this committee. Okay, so in the COSO framework, enterprise risk management is a comprehensive analysis and management of all risks facing the organization. ERM is said to be a comprehensive analysis and management of all risk facing the organization. Before COSO had a framework, risk management is confined on a per department basis. So let's say that this is the organization. This is the organization. The drawing ako dito. Ito yung organization. Risk management is conducted on the functional level. No? Per department yung pagmamanage ng risk. Risk management is conducted on a per department basis. Nakuha nyo? What enterprise risk management is all about from the word enterprise is that we have to look at things from the point of view of the company as a whole rather than confining risk management on each department. Okay, for example, is inflation a risk? Okay? Is hyperinflation a risk? Well, kung titingnan ng purchasing department only by itself, okay, para sa kanya, malaking risk. No? Purchasing department, kung titingnan niya on its own, it is a large risk. However, it's possible that we can pass on such issue to the customer. So kung titingnan natin sa sales department, pwede naman pala i-increase yung prices kapag nagkaroon ng hyperinflation. Okay? Nakuha niyo yung point? So some risk would offset one another. So dito sa enterprise risk management, we look at each department as part of a bigger portfolio. The company itself, it is a portfolio of different sub-departments, no? Different departments. The risk of one, the bad news of one may be good news for the other. This is the reason why it's important to look at the bigger picture, because some things might concern one department but would be a benefit when we look at it in the other department. Sana nakuha nyo. Enterprise risk management, from the word enterprise, means the entire company, the entire entity, the entire organization, is a comprehensive analysis and management of all risks facing the organization. Bago nagkaroon ng ERM, meron tayong tinatawag na silo. Bawat department may kanya-kanyang buhay. Yung risk management ay nasa silo. Pag silo, ibig sabihin nun, confined sa sarili niya. Okay? Kanya-kanya. Now, the COSO ERM framework has the following components. You have governance and culture, strategy and objective setting, performance, review and revision, then information, communication, and reporting. These are the 5 components of the COSO ERM framework. This is an improvement from their previous components. Yung mga components dati kasi 8, there's a total of 8. And then, most of them are just a repetition of the components of the internal control. No? Anyway, so the components of ERM are, in the new framework, governance and culture, strategy and objective setting, performance, review and revision, information, communication, and reporting. Okay? So you can think of it like this. Dapat yung ERM from the top to the entire company. No? So mission, vision, and core values, nakikita natin yung mga pangangailangan ng risk management dito sa governance and culture. Okay? Strategy development until enhanced value. Okay? So mission, vision, and core values, strategy development, business objective formulation, implementation, and performance. This would yield enhanced value. So let's go to each component. Governance and culture, pag sinabi natin governance, it's primarily done by the board of directors. Who is the instrument for good corporate governance? The board of directors. Okay? For this component, we have the following. We have the following support. Exercise board risk oversight. Establishing operating structures. Defining the desired culture. Now, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Demonstrating commitment to core values, attract, develop, and retain capable individuals. Governance and culture is very important because they set the tone at the top. No? There's a similar thing in internal control where you set the tone at the top. I believe it is called control environment. No? Control environment yan. This is the equivalent in risk management. Governance and culture. Exercise board risk oversight. Establishing operating structures. Define a desired culture. Demonstrate commitment to core values. Attract, develop, and retain capable individuals. Strategy and objective setting, primarily nasa level na yan ng top management, no? The executives. No? The executives. Analyzes the business context. So, dito sa top management, nade-define yung risk appetite. Kung ano yung risk na kayang sikmurahin ng kumpanya. Defining risk appetite. Evaluating alternative strategies and formulating of business objectives. And then let's go to the operating level. You have performance, identifies risk, assess the severity of risk, prioritize risk, implements risk responses, and develops a portfolio view. Portfolio view. Sinabi ko yan kanina. Then there should be review and revision, assesses substantial change, reviews risk and performance, pursues improvement in enterprise risk management. So in all of this, we need information, communication, and reporting. Leverages IT, information tech, no? Communicates risk info, reports on risk, culture, and performance. No? Information, communication, and reporting is essential, no? From the top to the bottom. Okay? Sige. First question for the day. Which of the following is correct concerning corporate governance in an enterprise risk management program? I will give you 2 minutes. Go. Okay. 30 seconds more. 30 seconds more. 30 seconds more. Okay, enter. Enter your answers. Which of the following is correct concerning corporate governance in an ERM program? Governance and culture is the tone at the top. Okay? How they behave at the top would be reflective of what is acceptable at the bottom. Okay? This can range from leading by example. Okay? Nakikita ka ng mga empleyado mo kung ikaw yung nasa top, kung paano mo hinahandle yung mga risky na bagay. Anything that involves risk, they would see how you would handle it. Or, in the case of a large multinational company, You would really need the help of information and technology in disseminating what is acceptable. Okay? O kaya kailangan mo pa ng training sa kanila. Okay ba? Enter your answers now. Enter your answers now. Is it A, B, C, or D? Please enter. Okay. So for governance, no, concerning corporate governance, this is the tone at the top. No? The correct answer here is letter dog. It is recommended that organizations establish the position CRO, Chief Risk Officer. Okay? Para naman maipakita natin, uy, napaka-importante ng risk management sa lahat ng ginagawa natin. Tingnan nyo, oh, ka-level ng CFO, for example, no? Ka-level daw ng CFO, yung Chief Risk Officer. Napakalaga ng risk management sa organization natin. Nakuha nyo? Okay. Letter dog is the correct answer. Letter C, mali. Mas maganda kung i-involve natin ang internal auditors. Okay. Risk committee. This is important in the BOD. Ha? This would be very useful. So doon sa BOD, may tatlong tao. No? Kunyari, may 15 na directors. May tatlong tao doon na committee on risk. No? Yung risk committee. Sa kanya magre-report yung CRO annually, no? Or on a regular basis. No? Tapos yung risk analysis, this is no longer a component in the new ERM. No? Yung risk analysis, wala yan sa 5 components. Ha? You can say that risk analysis will be conducted once you do performance. Pero hindi siya a separate, it's not a separate component. Very good. The correct answer is letter dog for this question. Next, how about this one? How about this one? What principle supports strategy and objective setting? We'll give you 1 minute. Game? Okay, enter now. Enter now. Okay. Strategy and objective setting. Itong apat. So that's your answer. The correct answer is letter A. We define the risk appetite. Okay? Defines risk appetite. That is a principle that support strategy and objective setting. Risk appetite tells us the acceptable risk levels in the organization. So nasa level na to ng top executives, no? They would define risk appetite. They would define risk appetite. Ano ang risk na kayang sikmurahin? A related concept to risk appetite is risk tolerance. Doon sa implementation, we are going to set the boundary as to what is acceptable. Risk tolerance yun, no? Risk tolerance. But on the macro level, on an overall level, nandyan yung risk appetite. So ulitin ko, ano yung difference ng appetite tsaka tolerance? Risk appetite on a macro level, dun sa overall enterprise level. While risk tolerance, while you are performing your duties, anong risk level yung acceptable, tolerance ang pinag-uusapan. Okay? Risk appetite overall, detailed yung risk tolerance. Letter A. Okay? Strategy and objective setting is supported by the principle of defines risk appetite. A. Next question. Another 30 seconds now. Another 30 seconds, please. Enter your answers, everyone. Enter your answers, everyone. Everyone, please enter your answers, everyone. Nasaan yung mga sagot nyo? In 2017, COSO updated its 2004 model. Which of the following statements concerning the 2017 framework is not correct? We're looking for the statement that is not correct. So, incorrect is letter A. Iba na yung components ng 2004 at 2017. Kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, yung original components niya ay 8. There are 8 of them. And they are just redundant with internal control framework. Mga iba sa kanila redundant lang ng internal control framework. Okay? Which of the following actions would a more risk-averse management team? More risk-averse ha? Pag sinabing adverse, ayaw, no? Ayaw ng risk. Likely take. Okay? Sige. 1 minute. Enter now. Enter now, everyone. Which of the following actions would a more risk-averse management team likely take? Okay, very good. Kapag risk-averse siya, mas conservative, no? Mas conservative. Gusto niya, gusto niya ibawasan, no? Reduce or eliminate risk. No? The correct answer here is letter A. Purchasing options to lock in the price of a raw material that tends to fluctuate in price. This is an action that will mitigate risk. Okay? While letter boy, from variable gawin mong fixed cost, it will increase the risk because it will increase operating leverage. Kahit wala kang benta, magbabayad ka ng fixed cost. Reducing safety training for employees, very risky. Moving to a country with a history of seizing assets. Okay, we move to North Korea kasi mura yung labor doon. Baka mamaya i-confiscate yung ating factory, no? These are all risky, no? Boy, see, and dog are risky actions. Very good. Letter A is an action that a risk-averse management team will likely take, no? Okay, how about this one? How about this one? 1 minute. Okay. Everyone, enter your answers. We're looking for the statement that is not true. We're looking for the statement that is not true. A, the five components focus on the organization's compliance, strategic, operational, and reporting functions. Tama naman, no? Sakop yan doon ng limang component. The five components were part of the 2000, some of the five components in the 2017 framework were part of the 2004 model. Some lang, no? Some. Yeah, some of them, yes. The five components apply throughout, yeah, all throughout the organization. Mali yung letter dog, no? We do not want independence, no? Each component are interrelated with one another. The incorrect statement is letter dog. The components cannot be viewed as on a one-by-one basis, no? On an independent basis. They are going to be judged in conjunction with the other components. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin, ay, ito yung information communication. Eh, ano ngayon? Ano ngayon kung yan yung maganda yung information and communication, kung hindi natin siya i-judge kung paano ginagamit ng iba't ibang levels ng management. Nakuha nyo? You cannot view them independently. They are viewed as one. No? They are interdependent. No? They are integrated with one another. Okay, how about this one? Another 1 minute. Another 1 minute. The 2017 COSO Enterprise Risk Management Framework includes which of the following components? 1 minute. Everyone enter. Enter everyone. Okay. What are the five components? Governance and culture, strategy and objective setting, review and revision, performance, then lastly, information, communication, and reporting. Walang policies and internal control, ha? Therefore, hindi natin pwedeng isama si 1, ha? The correct answer is letter C, only 2 and 3. Only 2 and 3. Sa number 1, tama naman yung pangalawa na yung governance and culture. Pero walang policies and internal controls dito sa ERM framework, ha? Okay. What is an example of determining a company's tolerance for risk? As I've told you, while risk appetite pertains to how much risk the company would be willing to take, in the implementation, okay, whoever is implementing an activity, dapat meron siyang tolerance for risk na nakaset. Okay? On the implementing level, we have risk tolerance. Okay lang? Okay, 2 minutes for this one. Go. Think very well. Okay, think very well. Please think very well. What is an example of determining a company's tolerance for risk? Enter. Enter now. Okay. Gaya ng sinabi ko, sa implementing level yung risk tolerance. The correct answer is A. Determining what is acceptable, no? The defect rate that is acceptable in a manufacturing process. Should we allow 1/1000 defects? No? Out of 1,000 units, may isang defective. What is acceptable for us? Or hindi yan acceptable. We want 1/10,000. Okay? That is what we mean by risk tolerance. Okay? That is what we mean by risk tolerance. The rest has nothing to do or are not directly dealing with the issue of setting the tolerance for risk. The answer is letter A for this question. Which of the following statements is correct? Concerning how management's attitude toward risk impacts the management of risk. Another 2 minutes, go. Okay, everyone, what's the correct answer? Enter your answers, everyone. Which of the following statements is correct concerning how management's attitude toward risk impacts the management of risk? Okay, so very good. A more risk-averse management team, meaning they are more conservative but risk-averse, would be less willing to take on risk than a less risk-averse management team would be. Okay? This is a true statement. No? Tinatanong lang kung alin dito yung totoo. No? Pag sinabing more risk-averse, ayaw, no? Averse means ayaw. More risk-averse, no? They are avoiding risk, would be less willing to take on risk than a less risk-averse management team would be. Okay? Boy and dog is the opposite of true. Okay? Boy and dog is the opposite of true. Boy and dog, they mean the same. Iba lang yung pagkakasabi, yung boy tsaka dog. But they are the kabaliktaran ng C. No? Kabaliktaran sila ng C. That's the correct answer. Very good, everyone. I think you are getting it. Next. Which of the following is an example of the facilitated workshops and interviews technique? This is a way of identifying risk, no? Risk identification. Of identifying events within ERM approach to risk management. I will give you 2 minutes. Enter now. Enter your answers now. Okay, an example. Pag sinabing workshop, okay, they're going to assemble or meet with each other first, no? So the correct answer, by the way, here is letter A. The head of financial reporting holds a meeting with all employees in the area to get their ideas on the possible risk areas within financial statements for the upcoming year. The correct answer is letter A. This is an example of a facilitated workshop and interviews. Yung head makikipag-meeting sa mga employees. They're going to gather in one place, maybe online or in one place, no? And they're going to talk about what are the possible risk areas. So alam nyo na yan sa FS, no? Yung mga risk areas sa FS. Okay? Next. 1 minute for this one. An organization is currently reviewing primary risk factors. This organization is at what step in the risk management process, RMP? Go. Enter. Okay, enter now. Okay, very good. Evaluating risk exposure. If they are already reviewing the primary risk factors, they are still in the evaluation of risk exposure. Okay? Letter boy. Okay, ito yung mga measures na pwede natin i-calculate to evaluate risk. Okay? This is a tool that is popular in statistics, no? Which of the following statements is correct? Go. Okay, everyone. Okay, yung earnings distribution, this is a quantitative method risk assessment tool that utilizes graphs of potential accrual earnings, kaya siya earnings, no? And the probabilities of those values to assess the risk. I think this is very much touch in the discussion of the standard deviation. Bago kasi ma-interpret yung standard deviation, dapat na-visualize nyo yung earnings distribution. No? Ito yung expected, ito yung mga pwedeng mangyari, higher or lower. Okay? With their corresponding probabilities. So, let me now move on to the advantages of ERM. Accordingly, the advantages of ERM include the following. It increases the range of opportunities, identifying and managing risk entity-wide, increasing positive outcomes and advantages, reducing negative surprises, reducing performance variability, improving resource deployment. Okay? You have to understand that when we manage risk, when we see something that is dangerous, at the opposite side, we can also see the range of opportunities. By studying risk, we are also exposed to a range of opportunities. Alam nyo naman yung difference ng downward at upward. For every risk, no, there's an upward factor there, no? Hindi lang siya downward. Yung kagandahan ng ERM, itong newly formed ERM as a separate discipline, we manage the risk entity-wide. Hindi kanya-kanya bawat department, no? We develop what we call a portfolio view. We take each department as part of a whole portfolio. Maybe the risk of one can be offset by the other's opportunity. Katulad ng example ko kanina, no? Inflationary pressure may be a problem on purchasing, but maybe it will also be passed on to the customers. In other words, yung sales tataas rin naman kahit tumaas yung cost. Increasing positive outcomes and advantages, okay, yung upward risk, no? Reducing negative surprises. Performance variability, ito yung nangyayari kapag iba-iba yung nagiging resulta ng product or service mo. Especially service, no? Yung performance mo nagbabago, minsan maayos yung service mo, minsan hindi. When you do ERM properly, you can have a way to reduce the volatility of performance. And of course, a very important also advantage also is what resources will be allocated where, no? To where. Improving the resource deployment. Those are the advantages of ERM. Sorry, I forgot. Number 6 pala. Enhancing enterprise resilience. Okay? Enhancing enterprise resilience. That's also one advantage. Okay, so that would be the discussion for this afternoon. Isa-stop recording ko lang.